Yo, what is up? It's that time, it's that hour, it's Righteous with another video. And the first thing I want to talk about is why Triple G can beat Canelo. Now, before I get into my opinion and my stance on the fight, I want to give a shout out to all the subscribers that have been tuning into my videos and checking out my past stuff. For all these years, I want to thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and there's more to come. So a couple of bullet points that I want to bring up to you guys is going to start with he already knows Canelo. So he's had less fights than Canelo after their fight. So after the second fight, Triple G has only fought 2 or 3 or 4 other guys, while Canelo's had at least 2 more fights than Triple G. That gave time for Golovkin to bring down his activity and watch Canelo, as he has a new trainer, which some people wouldn't even call him a new trainer because he's always been around camp and he knows his old trainer. They were all buddies. They all know each other from the amateur days and when Triple G became pro. Like at the tail end of the amateur days. So they got to watch Canelo, and they've been in the ring with Canelo. You know, Triple G has been in the ring with him and has not shown that much weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Some people might say that Canelo won the second fight. I think it was a closer fight. I would give it more of a 7-5. That's how I had it that night. I had a 7-5 for Golovkin. And I think that if anybody knows Canelo, it's somebody that has his number, like Golovkin, because at the very least we would all agree that Golovkin won the first fight. So if anything, someone that would understand Canelo would probably be someone like Floyd Mayweather, maybe Irislali Lara, and Golovkin. Those 3 guys have his number. You know, there's some guys that had their moments in the fight, but once you lose to a fighter, you know, it's not the same as someone that has an edge on them or gets a judge to say that, you know, they beat this person. So, you know, these kind of things are what put them above the fray, you know, when it comes to Canelo's resume. So there's one bullet point. He's made 168 naturally. So, you know, there's that back and forth about Canelo. Is he natural? Is he not natural? Is he going up in weight too much? I think he's doing a great job with his body, however he's doing it. You know, obviously, I would hope for the best, that he's taking care of himself, but he's an elite athlete either way. And number 2, he's not only fighting at 165, he's fighting at 175. You know, he fought Bivol, he also fought Kovalev at 175, and then he's thinking about going up even further, talking about fighting a cruiserweight or even Usyk, you know what I mean? And that right there can kind of mess with the mentality of a fighter. You know, he's not an average fighter. You know, he's not someone that's in exhibition fights like Floyd Mayweather or something like that. So he has to be careful with who he fights, and he just lost to Bivol. He didn't get dropped or anything like that. He looked like he was a little hurt, but he wasn't extremely hurt where he couldn't continue. So in my opinion, I think Golovkin is making 168 in a natural, comfortable way, because he knew that at some point, if he wanted to fight Canelo, he had to go up in weight. And then number 2, he's already getting older, so it feels natural for him to go up. So that plays in his favor regardless. Canelo is playing a totally different game, which could work against him. Okay, so write that one down, put that in your notes. I got some more coming for you. So there is a lot of examples of 40-year-olds not being old in sports when it comes to elite athletes. Like, you know, we see what LeBron James is doing, you know what I'm saying? We've seen what Jordan has done as he was already super rich. He didn't even need to play basketball, and he showed that he was superior when it came to playing basketball against guys that were coming up in the league. And he I wouldn't say he dominated, but he did really well for a 38 to 40-year-old basketball player that, you know, won championships and people knew who he was. He had a X on his back. He still did his thing. So, you know, guys like him, you know, Bernard Hopkins, we still got Floyd Mayweather that's still, you know, showing up from here, you know, every now and then, you know, if you want to count him. Obviously, those are exhibition fights, but he's still fighting athletes. And some are, you know, lower par guys, but still, it still counts. And when it comes to Triple G, I think he still takes himself very seriously. You know, he's still working out. He doesn't show as much as he used to because he doesn't need to. He already has a fight set up with Canelo, which is the biggest boxer in boxing, period. So, to me, there are a lot of examples. You got George Foreman. There's so many. But we got to talk. When we say the guys that are 40, we cannot compare them to someone that's going down. Because if they're going down, you have to see the decline. You can't just point it out with him winning. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so he didn't knock out Murata, how he beat what's this guy's name, the guy from Canada, how he beat that dude, you know what I mean, how he beat Danny Jacobs, which was a little more decisive because he dropped Danny Jacobs, and Danny Jacobs was a little more in his prime, you know what I'm saying. So I think when it comes to Golovkin, a lot of people are gonna discuss this. You know, this is debatable, but you cannot really age him to that degree until he takes a loss or he looks bad. He doesn't look bad. He just looks older. He's been in front of our eyes for years now. It's almost probably over 10 years now we've been watching Golovkin. You know what I mean? Eventually he's gonna be like, okay, I've seen this already. You know, I want to see new boxers. But he's still Golovkin. He hasn't been beaten. You know? He has the loss versus Canelo. It's debatable. And when you have the chatter going on, people want to see it again. So like I said, that slight edge goes towards Golovkin. Alright, so here's another one. Some people think that Triple G wants to right the wrong with Canelo. They might be wrong because he really believes he's great. So they've asked Triple G in the past, you know, in the recent past, in the press conference, they were like, you know, why do you want to fight Canelo? What's next? What's going to be different? And he's like, hey, there's nothing different. I'm coming to win. You know, I'm coming to knock him out or get a decision or TKO. I'm here to win. You know what I'm saying? And he's all obviously thinking about his legacy. He wants to beat Canelo. But he's also thinking past Canelo as well. After he has to obviously beat him. But once he beats Canelo, he's going to be solidified even more. So he's after greatness. He's still chasing greatness. He fought not too long ago this year. So he's a prime boxer. I mean, Twilight, of course. But at the same time, he's still thinking like someone that doesn't take any breaks. You know, he hasn't retired. You know what I'm saying? He's an active fighter. So what do active fighters do? They box and they make money. So that's all he's trying to do. Some people look at it with these angles and this and that. He wants the money. He's trying to get the Canelo paycheck, the lottery, and this and that. Okay, cool. Right? But in anything we do in this life, you know, if it comes down to skill, you're going to want to get paid, right? Okay, then. So put them in front of me. The attitude doesn't change. So, okay. Next bullet point. Triple G just wants to beat Canelo for legacy. Again, this is debatable. Look at how he responded to the steroid allegation. So, when the steroid allegation came out, this was after the first fight. So, let's back up a little bit. Okay. First fight happens. Canelo calls him out, blah, 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 whatever. The lead up to the fight, Canelo doesn't know if he's the villain, if he's not the villain. Super understandable. Boom, they fight. Canelo says, "Hey, I was there. You know, Triple G was accusing Canelo of running. Canelo's like, hey, I was there. You could have knocked me out. You could have did whatever you had to do. You know? So the draw was ineffective. And Canelo is just doing his thing. They're leading up to part 2. They want to do a rematch. Canelo's not backing up from the rematch. He's like, I want it. Boom, boom, boom. Steroid pops up. Right? So Triple G's response is, hey, I knew that this was going on. They've been telling me, people have been sending me pictures and there's videos, and I see like little marks on his body, this and that. But ultimately, what does Triple G say? I still want to fight him. I don't care, you know, like just put him in the ring, whatever it takes, whatever. So they fix this thing. They figure it out, right? People get paid, things move on. A year goes by, 6 months go by, whatever it is. They fight again in Vegas. That right there shows you character. When it comes to Golovkin, he didn't care. He's like, yo, I got a contract with this dude. I have to beat him. You see, because the thing is, Canelo has people on his resume that are part of Golovkin's resume as well that makes them elevated as boxers. So like, if Golovkin does not fight Canelo, it just looks like he missed a boat and he missed a huge opportunity. And it's not only about money, so to say, it's about being a part of the greats. The greats do what the other guys won't do, what the average boxer won't do. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I feel like it's more about him wanting to get that opportunity and knock it out the park. Now, if the third fight becomes a draw again, then there's a lot to say with that. But let me see my last bullet point. It says here, elite athletes are used to other athletes cheating. So this is another thing that happens too. It happens in all sports. Okay, when somebody pops for steroids, or if they're cheating in any way, like, you know what happened with Tom Brady, you know, with the ball, you know, them deflating the football and whatever, or whatever would happen with the Yankees and the Houston. When that happened, you know, these things happen. It happens all the time in all kinds of sports, whether it's gambling, this and that. It happens. It shows up. You know, Pete Rose with the gambling stuff. It happens. You know, you hear about Michael Jordan having a gambling problem, or his dad and this and that. It happens. Elite athletes are used to other athletes cheating. It happens. So you have to look at it from a standpoint of that, where Golovkin is coming like the underdog, all the way from Kazakhstan, fighting across the world. This man has been fighting in the Olympics, getting silver medals and doing all sorts of things just to become pro. And then when he becomes pro, he goes on a rampage, 20 knockouts straight in England, this, that place, Canada, New York. That's not his home. California, Vegas, these places are not his home. He would have fought Canelo in the backyard. He would have fought Canelo in Texas. He would have went wherever. Put a camera, set it up. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make it happen. That's the kind of guy Golovkin is. And I don't think that from one day to another, just because he got a paycheck, now all of a sudden he's changed. You know, he's not a boxer anymore. He just needs the money. What? You think he's like you? You think he's sitting on the couch just watching like you? No, this man is determined. So he's gonna be working out, you know, strategizing, and if anything, that makes him more dangerous. Now, of course, the more active fighter is always more dangerous. Canelo is a lot more dangerous, but I'm gonna make another video on why Golovkin can lose to Canelo, or whatever I decide to title it, but basically the opposite of this. And you guys are gonna see that I'm not just picking a fighter. I'm letting you guys know why it's worthy of watching, because I've seen the comments. I've known of some people saying I'm not really interested, and I'm hearing that this is common. This is absolutely more common, but I really feel like things will turn around. People will be interested in the fight again, and I just want us to state some facts on why the fight is valuable, is still worth watching. And I almost forgot his name is David Lemieux. David Lemieux. That fight was phenomenal when the jab was going really well for Golovkin. But he didn't beat Murata like he beat Lemieux. Okay, but it doesn't matter. He went across the pond again. His home is in California, Kazakhstan, wherever. He's a traveling champion. And then when it comes to Canelo, he's a traveling competitor. He's someone that is looking for an opportunity. He's still not that guy. He's still an underdog. So there you have it, guys. I want to give a shout out to all my boxing homies, everybody in the YTBC. Much respect. You already know I'm going to be dropping some more videos, so you guys stay tuned. I'll have an interview tomorrow with A-Trip. You guys check it out. He's a musician, rapper. He's a conscious rapper, so you definitely check him out. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for tuning in. And you already know, let's try to keep boxing alive. Peace out.